you submitted a question about images.
Yeah, did it make sense?
Yeah, why don't you summarize your question for us?
So basically, like a lot of times when you're doing a website and maybe you have like location pages, and on those pages you talk about different things in the area that can be related to your business. And a lot of that you would talk about it and include some images of some things, like some local parks and some local whatever. And pictures are always good. So my question was, where is a good place to source those pictures? And is it okay to, for example, source them like let's say it's something that has a Wikipedia page that has a good picture, and source it there and put at the bottom, source Wikipedia, and link to it. Can you do that? Is that okay? And is that acceptable? Because like, for example, sometimes, I do have clients here in Metro Atlanta, but what if I have a client across the country? I can't go take pictures. And a lot of times when you ask clients to take pictures like that, they may not understand it. So I'll do it. And then they never get to it. So that's the reason and everything. So what is your take on that?
So I want to commend you for wanting to source your images.
Yeah.
Right. Like we SEO people are the worst about plagiarism, and it's really important to source it. Now, if you do under, like, I think Wikipedia images are under Creative Commons, I think you're required to give them a source.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so like
I don't know the licensing very well.
Okay,
but
so I'll
one of the licenses
out.
is you can use it as long as you give it a source.
Okay, see, I don't know. I stopped at that point going, oh, Wikipedia has a good image. I'd like to use that. And then I didn't follow through with what is their thing. So so I need to Google Wikipedia's license.
Right.
Creative Commons license.
And but even if you didn't, if you wanted to link to the source on Wikipedia, it's not going to hurt you.
Okay. Yeah.
It doesn't hurt you to link out.
Yeah. And at Wikipedia, I may, that's not a bad place to link to.
Well, no, it's not a bad place. It doesn't help you, but it doesn't hurt you, right? Yeah. If you, when we're talking about linking out, we're really more concerned about creating reciprocal links.
Yeah.
We link to someone and they link back to us.
Yeah. So
that's a no-no.
That's a no-no. Yeah. Now, what about, so the wiki is good. So what if about images on something, I mean, I have to look up and confirm and make sure, but probably just link to it, the source of the image. Now, is that something, so let's say I found an image that I liked on Wikipedia. Would I take that image and just have the link there in my page, or would I actually upload the image to my site?
You can upload the image to your site, but also there's a way, because I did it at one point, I don't remember how to do it, but like you can put like the source right up under the picture.
Yeah.
But there is also places where you can go and it's free to use, like Upsplash or Unsplash.
Yeah, these are more local things that aren't on there, because that's what I do for a lot like that, and Pixabay and things like that.
Yeah.
But I think the one thing is like, because there's a way to, like, I can just download and upload it to my website, or I can just put in the link where the image shows up, which is the preferred method on there.
So it depends on the website from which you're getting it. Some webs, it's called hot linking, when you link and include a link of an image that's hosted in another domain, such as Wikipedia. It's called hot linking. Some websites have rules against that. If you can do it, there's nothing SEO wise a problem, but you got to watch your credible sources. So for instance, you could create a hot link to a kind of an unknown website, and they could substitute that hot link and replace your image with something
bad.
Yeah, with something nefarious.
Okay.
Or worse, a Trojan of some sort, like where you're uploading, the people think they're uploading an image, but they're really uploading a virus to their computer. So hot linking is, from an untrusted source especially, is probably not a good idea. And if, so it's always probably safer to upload it on your site. And I think some licenses allow you to modify it. So for instance, you could trim it You could add text to it. You could shade it. You could make it a little bit more unique, put your brand logo on it, depending on the license. Some licenses are, in fact, Google image search goes through the licenses, use without any limitations. You non-commercial use only, use without modification, can't, or you can use it, but you can't modify it. Like there's all kinds of rules.
So,
read up on those. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the other question. So Wikipedia is one, and the other is like when you find things, Google has these like neighborhood, what is it? Like if you Google something, Google will have pages like things of interest in this neighborhood or something. Am I making sense? Let me see.
I'm very sorry. I totally got distracted by an email that came in. Frustrating email that came in while you were asking the question.
Let me see. Let me type in. Let's see. So like when you look up things and Google, that's not what I'm looking for. Let's see. Just trying to think of like different, sometimes like it'll be like, let's see. I'm trying to think, I've seen okay. So like if I am searching for, let me maybe screen share and show you what I'm talking about, because I'm looking this up, but I quite honestly am not sure what I'm doing.
Sure.
Okay, can you see my screen?
There it is, yeah.
Okay, so I basically Googled like things to do in Marietta, and then on the left it has this Marietta. This is like Google's kind of knowledge panel for that. So and then if you visit quick, so like let's just say I'm going to look in like university. So I thought there was something where like Google had like these images.
Yeah, right above that, above the.
Oh, hold on. Right here?
Yeah, images.
Yeah. So, but these are like on different places. So these aren't necessarily like hosted on Google. Does that make sense? I was looking for ones that like are, and maybe
if you go up to the top to tools, I think it is, or more. One of them, like break it down. Like if you want common, up at the top where it says more.
Yeah, let me go back.
I think it's up on the more where it, you have different license types.
That's if you're viewing the images.
Yes, that's what you're trying to do.
So
go to images,
look at the image,
and then hit more.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Tools, I think.
Tools. Okay, so yes, tools.
Tools. Okay.
Usage rights.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
So commercial and other.
Right.
Is that what okay.
So, well, commercial and other means you pay for it.
Oh, excuse me, Creative Commons license. So creative, let me, hold on. I need to make a note of this. So I'm going to Google it. And then images, and then tools. And then Creative Commons license.
And look at the other options that you have there. You could pick size, and I think it's small,
size,
large,
color.
color.
So,
you can pick photos versus like an animation or a cartoon. So here you can do Marietta.
Yeah. So does that mean that if this is saying that it's Creative Commons license, that like, let's say that, so I know Pixabay, but let's just look at another one. These are Wikipedia.
Flickr is a good example. Go to the Flickr one.
Okay. So that's,
one.
Oh, it says licensable.
Well, but click on the link and go to Flickr, visit.
Let me move this. Okay.
And on Flickr, it will tell you what the license, some rights reserved. And you can click on that.
Where does it say some rights reserved?
Bottom right.
Okay, I see.
The picture, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so if I click on that, it would say you're free to share, copy, redistribute in any medium format, adapt. Oh, cannot revoke these screens as long as you follow the terms. Okay, so like that, I would be able to use that.
Yeah.
And it typically on some like for Pixabay and things like that, I typically I don't attribute, but if I'm getting it from something else like this, I probably would.
Yeah. I think it's nice. It's not a requirement by that license. There are some Creative Commons licenses that require link attribution.
Okay. So I guess I haven't like really, because usually I get them from either the client or places that I know, like Pixabay or whatever. But as far as more things that are locally driven, because when I've looked on things, the Pixabay, Pixels, and the others, Upsplash or Unsplash, they a lot of them aren't the local specific ones that I'm looking for.
Yeah, yeah, that's a challenge.
Yeah.
And I think what you're doing to find these is a great idea.
Yes.
And it's, I think, for all the reasons you're saying, right? Clients never get you to them, or if they give you them, they give you terrible ones.
Well, and that's it. If I ask and they get it, great. My thing is like, I don't want to like have it hold up. So like this one here is a local park. I would go there and take a picture, but let's just say it's in a different city and I'm like, I can't get there and the client won't get it to me. So I guess, so this is interesting. It doesn't really say. Did I click the right thing?
I would read around the site, make sure there's not some sort of rule.
It says images may be okay, this is just regular Google stuff. Okay.
Yeah, because Google's trying to protect their.
Yes.
But.
Yeah. Okay.
So
some of them will have
completely trust whether Google suggests that it's under a license. I would always go to the website and review what it says.
Yeah.
But what if you link to this park as a source? Like, who's going to argue with you on that, right?
Yeah.
And it's totally fine to link to that park. It's another thing if your competitor has a picture you want to use and you take it and don't attribute it, right? Like, then it's just being a jerk.
Yeah, no.
Don't use stuff from your competitors.
Yeah. Okay.
But it would always be better to get your own, and sometimes that means just hiring a photographer. Like, I every couple of years just have to go get some new headshots and get a bunch. Last time I did headshots, I got a bunch of photos done with some people in a group that made it look like I was doing consulting. I bought them lunch. Paid Steve Schwartz, my photographer. Yeah. And I have a ton of images for all that, right?
Yeah.
And it was a fun time because we had a blast. And I had a bunch of images I could use, and you only have to do it every couple of years.
Yeah.
But if you hire a professional, that you're going to get higher quality stuff than, like, this picture of this park is pretty boring. It's like,
it is. I clicked on that because I knew the park, but that I would go out and get a much better picture.
Yeah, exactly. But not everybody has the eye that you might have, right?
Yeah.
And so
I would want something probably with the sign on it because it's a really nice park. I like it.
Yeah, well, and all these are taken in the middle of the midday sun, not during the golden hour.
Yeah.
So they're not particularly attractive. And if you had some really nice photos, you could really. Now, we have to worry about going a little too crazy with photos.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of a couple page, like if there's a location page and you want to mention 2 or 3 things, I'm not talking about thousands of them now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So that helped a lot. I was kind of not sure how to do that. So what the rules were, because I was seeing some and I'm like, these are not. I could tell that I did not believe that they were ones that the site had done themselves. They could have, but and so then I was like, well, how is that done on the up and up? So, and that's my main thing, wanting to make sure I do it right and not know something and make a mess of something. Don't want to do that.
Well, and when in doubt, you could contact the website owner.
Yeah.
and just say, hey, I would like to use your photo on my website. Would
Yeah.
you mind?
Yeah.
I think most people would
Especially
not have a problem with it.
Yeah, and things that I like this that I'm thinking about are more like along the lines of like Wikipedia and stuff where they probably ignore those kind of emails. So, but if they're more local businesses, then yeah.
Well, Wikipedia has set up the license for that purpose to not to have to do those emails because the answer is in the license.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay.
No, that's a great question.
Yeah, that's helpful for sourcing some images. Not all, just a couple handfuls.